Yo, what is happening, folks? Welcome to Gameplay, the eSports show that keeps you in the know of all things high school and university eSports in South Africa. Yeah, but yes, you know what it is. It's your hostess that does the mostest, Collins Manyame, aka Scar in the eSports streets, and you already know what it is. Stock standard. We're covering results that happened within the ASL space. I take a look at the recent Curro indaba that I had the privilege of visiting. We also have a chat with a local eSports figure and her journey in eSports. We have our session in the classroom and yet another banger from your boy. And then we ended off with my special guest interview. So without any wasting time, some men love it. So jumping right into things, let's catch up with the ASL space and results that happened. Taking a look at Rocket League, PRG took down eSpORTS in an emphatic 2-0 victory in their best of 3 series, which is a massive win coming through from them, as these are the two heavy hitters in the Rocket League ASL leagues. On the side of Valorant, we saw Riverwood College beat Redham Bedford View in a dominant 13-5 victory, making a statement for themselves on the day. And finally, in Fortnite, here's the current standings of the league, with PRG taking first place in 653 points. Second place, we have Glenwood coming through with 548 points. In third, we have Pineland School sitting at just 5 points behind second with 543 points. And in fourth and fifth, with Klerksdorp and St. David's completing our top 5 for the Fortnite leagues. So if you want to witness all this action live, make sure to catch all the upcoming ASL League matches on Twitch at twitch.tv/African eSports. Alright, and now it's time for our session in the classroom, and it's coming through from your boy once again. So this is going to be for the beginners that are just getting into casting. When it comes to casting, there are 2 key roles that you'll find yourself in, and understanding which role suits you best is the most important thing. So I'll be breaking it down in this video. So, Azishe, and let's take a look. What is happening, folks? Welcome back to your classroom session, and today we're going to be talking about the 2 key roles that you have when it comes to casting. So for the people that are getting to casting, the most important thing is finding your role and finding what suits you best. So that is the most important thing that you need to focus on, because that is where you can understand what you need to work on, how can you improve your skills, and what are the better ways of performing your job. So obviously we're going to be speaking about that, and the first one we'll be talking about out of our 2 is going to be color casting. If you want an example of what that is, here's an example.
The info?
Yeah, I mean, the only way they could have actually gone ahead and done that is by having a radio tower near them that activated, taking out those AI and then getting the storm scan, which shows you the zones as it goes along. But even that is going to be a tough one considering where they are right now.
So that's color casting. Color casting is essentially the people that bring the game to life, that give context, that give reasons as to why certain plays happen, certain moments occurred, and give the viewers a clearer picture of what they're watching. Aside from that, we have our second one, which is going to be your play-by-play caster. And these are your hype men, the guys that keep you alive. You want an example? Here's one.
Zeston will be able to catch it, picks up his 100 canister as well. Bit of a whiff there, possibly. Ender, shot, can he get past 2? Oh, that was close, but Extreme Ice with the save.
So that is essentially your play-by-play caster. They give you the calls, the action as it's happening, as it unfolds, and paint a beautiful picture of what you're watching before your very eyes. And notably, a lot of the time, give us the most memorable moments when it comes to esports tournaments. So when it comes to picking your role, that is the most important thing. So here's how you can break it down. When it comes to color casting, this is more so for people that are the brainiacs, that understand a game to its core and fundamentals and want to break down plays, understand why certain plays worked, why some didn't. And also, if you're someone that just enjoys giving context to certain scenarios in games, color casting might be a role for you. So looking into that can maybe be an avenue for yourself. But if you're someone who's quick-witted, has quick catchphrases, always knows how to call action as it happens and on the fly, maybe play-by-play is your strategy. And remember, sometimes you may be someone that's very good at play-by-play but not so good at color casting. That is why you do have caster duos. You have to be able to play off of each other, and learning how to be able to do that is something I'll probably talk about in another session. But for now, understanding the roles as it comes, the 2 key roles, and understanding which works for you is our most important thing. So kind of filter through and see maybe what works for you. Are you more of the brainiac, or are you the quick-witted catchphrase guy who knows how to call the action quickly? That's for you to figure out. But that is going to be our session for today, and let's get back to the show. So moving on from that, now let's talk about the Curro indaba. So last week, I had the privilege of visiting the venue where they were hosting the Curro indaba. And if you're watching the footage now and you get a bit of FOMO, me, hard luck, because I told you this is going to be an event that you want to attend. But regardless of that, let's take a look at the action that unfolded at the Curro indaba.
My name is Lucas Trindi. I'm from Delta Park School. I teach knowledge network there, which is basic computer skills. I'm all about gaming. I love gaming. I think that's the primary reason why I'm here. It's been a great experience. I got to see a lot. I got to learn a lot. Just did a session now about shoutcasting and streaming. I think there was one thing that I had no clue about, which I feel like it's going to be invaluable in terms of the things that we learned. I also got to network and also meet other esports coaches from other schools. I got to see how they do things in their own schools, and I have a lot of things that I've learned from them that I hope to implement in my own school as well.
I'm Michelle van Alphen. I'm from Curro Mossel Bay, down in the beautiful little coastal town. I'm head of the eSport department there, and we have a load of kids that are within our little club and group, so it's amazing. Every year, Magdalene and the team bring a whole new dynamic, and this year has just been epic to at least be here on the Tux campus, which is amazing. I've been able to meet new coaches I haven't met in the past because they've not been able to make it, form new relationships, and then of course the learning has been endless, from setting up LAN networks, which I feel is my new little passion project I might jump into, right through to what Stephen Reed had to offer us this morning was great. And then of course I just threw my hand at Rocket League. Not my game. Great game, epic game, but I've realized I don't have the hands for it. It's just unspeakable to say how important these events are. It's a new world, it's a new era for most coaches, most schools, most players.
My name is Shepard. I'm from Rustenburg Meridian. Actually, these events are very important in such a way that us as coaches, we are supposed to be equipped in order for us, when we now go back to our schools, we now know exactly what we are supposed to teach and expect from our learners. I like the hands-on part now because we are doing the practical part and we are allowed to be on the computers more, see how these games are done and how the setup is done and everything pertaining. For an example, we've got Rocket League, Faroland, Minecraft and all those things.
If the whole point of having esports to be able to grow, it makes me feel glad that I'm not the only weird one out there. Usually people our age do not engage in these activities a lot. It's pretty much unknown. But it kind of makes things like esports become normal. It's normal now to be a gamer. It's not only just normal, but it's also cool.
All I'm gonna say is, I told you so. Anytime I tell y'all to attend these events, attend, man. Don't be missing out, because you're missing out on so much action and getting to know more about esports and just all around an amazing vibe with such amazing people. But moving forward from that, we also had a side interview with an esports figure at the venue talking about her journey in esports, content creation, and all about her life. Let's take a look.
We are here with Julia Robson, influencer, streamer, and pro gamer. How was your experience today?
Today's been a very fun experience. I think that we have had a lot of fantastic conversations with all the teacher and the coaches. And I think we're experiencing esports in a different light, right? Coming from an education perspective, a lot of ideas coming from the schooling that is quite different to what we know in the traditional esports space.
100%. And what did you speak about specifically in your sessions?
Today we spoke about elevating your esports identity within the ideas and constructs of content creation and streaming. So we're giving ideas to the teachers and coaches on how to approach putting their school's team out there on social media and how to engage within the school space to bring, I guess, an enlightenment of what the students are doing, showcasing their hard work and dedication, and also getting the students involved in content creation.
Fantastic. And what was your highlight of that presentation? Were there any standout moments or interactions with teachers that you enjoyed?
I really liked the focus on safety online, which was really refreshing for me to see. And I think that we have a lot to learn, coming from that space. I think it's very important that students and teachers alike take that very seriously.
Fantastic. And I introduced you with like 3 different titles, but what would you say is the main thing you identify in the gaming space?
I think content creator really encompasses everything, correct? Because I do some live streaming work, I do social media content creation work, but then I also represent brands. So as a brand ambassador for ASA Africa, I like to be involved in the community as much as possible. So I think content creator, community representative is all the same to me.
Okay, fantastic. And was there a point in your career where you maybe didn't consider yourself a content creator, but there was a specific achievement or point where you thought, okay, now I can call myself and I don't have any imposter syndrome or anything like that?
I think it took some time for sure, but after attending a few Rage Expo events and officially being dubbed in a brand ambassador for ASA Africa, I think that's where I really found my feet in the industry for sure.
Okay. And when we say content creation, what would you say is your main platform that you like to advertise on? If I was a company and I wanted to get Julia to push my product, push my brand, what would your preferred medium be?
I think my favorite is meta platforms in general. So I utilize Instagram mostly for content creation. Facebook automatically reshares my posts, so that helps quite a lot because you can engage with a lot of groups and niche activities in that space. And then, I think overall I do utilize Twitch streaming. So with, going live on Twitch is where I've had my community for the longest time, but then also platforms like TikTok, it's just, an extension of what is being created on meta platforms.
100%. And what got you into streaming, let's say, or what is your approach to streaming that you usually take?
Just have fun with it. Yeah, just be yourself, have fun with it, engage with your audience. People that are watching you feel just as awkward as you going live. So just make everybody feel comfortable and focus on building a community. I think that's the biggest space.
100%. And one of my favorite things that you do is enter LAN, bringing back the LAN space from the old OC days and bringing that back to Cape Town. What made you want to start doing LANs when it's kind of falling out of the meta, to say?
Well, exactly that. It's falling out of the meta. It's how I grew up. It's how I got into the space. It's how I got involved in gaming in the first place. It's what ignited my passion, and I know it's been the reason why a lot of other gamers get involved in gaming through BYOC LANs and community connection. I feel like that's the best way to get involved.
100%. And I feel like the LAN experience is so different. You play different games. It's not always your online games or your very popular games. What are some of your LAN favorites?
I don't know, Quake 3 Arenas just always has that, like, everybody plays it. Like, whether you've never played it before, you get the hang of it quite quickly. The movement's unique, but at the same time easy. And it gives you that fast-paced movement that we know and love from other games like Overwatch, even Marvel Rivals these days. Except it doesn't have that high barrier to entry when it comes to hardware requirements. So Quake 3 is a personal fave. I also like seeing games like super niche games like Osu and, Counter-Strike pop up in its various forms. Sometimes we even boot up the all 1.6 for some surf games. So it really is all about, like, what is the most accessible to everybody, what is free to play, and how can we play it regardless of anybody's system requirements.
100%. And on the topic of LANs, what do you think is your favorite aspect of the LAN? I mean, we've said it's an amazing thing that we're bringing back, but what really makes you the most excited?
There's an electrifying experience when you put down your PC on a trestle table and set it up, and you're bringing a piece of home, piece of your identity onto a desk, showcasing it to everybody, booting it up, and just sitting down and jamming games with your friends. So it really is that social environment for me. I think there's just something about it. It's like going to a car meet or attending a music festival and showcasing your outfit and your personality. it's that human connection that transcends what we are usually known for, which is online personalities and personas. Now it brings it into a very real room, and you can't really escape it. It's infectious.
100%. I like what you've said about bringing in part of your identity, because you're showing off your stickers, your build. You know, people are very proud about their computers and what they have to, even their wallpaper, something really simple, but it's something people connect on. Last question is there anything in the works that you're working on that you can hint towards, maybe the next Interland or anything like that?
The next Interland. Yes, we are expecting to host the next Interland on the weekend of Comic-Con Africa, Comic-Con Cape Town specifically, and we are looking to do so in May, same dates. So yeah, we're working very hard to make that come true, and yeah, well, by we I mean me. It's a one-woman band, but I'm very fortunate to have people like ACGL obviously come through and support the event and really make it what it needs to be.
Okay, fantastic. And if you want more information on that, I'm sure you can find that on Julia's Instagram.
Yeah, it's about that time. I've been telling y'all students, I've been saying the Curro Land is coming up, and now there's finally time. From the 28th to the 29th of March, get ready for the Curro Gauteng Land. We have Minecraft, Valorant, Dota, Rocket League, Yonkinto. Make sure you're signed up and registered and ready for when the Curro Land does take place. Head on over to schools.acgl.gg/Curro and get yourself signed up and ready for the Curro Gauteng Land. See you there. Controller on the couch, you already know what that means. Time for game chat with my special guest. I had a chat with Mags from Curro, just understanding more about the Curro Indaba event and also what you students can be expecting from Curro for the rest of the year. So, on the other side of this, I have that interview. See you after the break. What is happening, folks? Welcome back to the show. And now it's time for my special guest interview. Yeah, but yes, you know what it is. And today I'm joined by Magdalene de Kok, also known as Mad Mags. How are you doing, Mags?
I'm doing very well. It is a very hot day in Pretoria, but we are managing it.
Hot is an understatement. But it's absolutely amazing to be here, to be at the Curro Indaba, where we are at. And just jumping right into things, when it comes to the Curro Indaba, what is the main focus of the event and what topics are usually touched upon when coming into this?
When we start planning the Indaba, we really focus on covering the whole ecosystem in the eSports framework. Now, there's been a lot of research, and if you want to go and look at it, they did this research in America a couple of years ago, but there are so many different parts that create or is situated around an esports player, from the strategists, which are your coaches, to the infrastructure, which is your cables that you lay, your internet, your content creators. You know, those are the ones that create the graphics, you know, the avatars, your entrepreneurs. Because we want the learners that we teach to be able to go and make a career out of esports. So when we start planning the Indaba, we make sure that every single part of the framework is covered. And we get a topic or a speaker that will speak to something in that framework, and then also not have the same thing every year, but make sure it's continuing the teaching that was done from one year to the next. We have that progression through our events.
So I'm actually going to touch on that in a bit, but is it more so your idea of trying to showcase esports as not just about gaming, but different career paths that people can follow within the space?
Exactly. It is about helping coaches and teachers understand that when you run an esports program at your school, you need to think about bigger than just we're playing the game to win the title. That's awesome, and of course that's the goal. I mean, we want to win. Who doesn't want to win?
I mean, it's bragging rights at the schools.
It's bragging rights, right? But you have these learners in your class for 4 or 5 days at a time, 2 hours a day. You can't just game, because it's so one-dimensional. You need to be able to show them that there's so much more to it. You can become the physiotherapist of the team. You can be the social media manager of the team. You could be the shoutcaster of every single game your child or your team participates in. So even the smallest Rocket League tournament or online game you are playing in the ASL League, why not cast it? Why not give them a chance to put it on YouTube or on Twitch or somewhere, even if you just record it so you have it for prosperity.
Yeah.
You know, all of that needs to be included, because you are preparing learners, no matter what you teach, to someday do something with their lives that they are passionate about.
I mean, some of y'all probably saw my smile for the shoutcasting, because I mean, I think I'm very happy to hear stuff like that, because shoutcasting is basically what led me to this point, right? And I think, as you said, you want to show teachers that there are more paths to esports than just gaming in the classroom.
Yeah.
But actually, what I'm curious about, you actually mentioned it a bit, is this going to be sort of an annual event that Curro continuously has every single year for the foreseeable future?
Well, this is our third one. The first year was very small. We had about 50 coaches there, mostly Curro. We didn't expand it to external schools, and it was like a test run, like a little pilot in Indaba.
Just to kind of see,
let's
test
see, you know,
the waters a bit, see if it works out.
Because in South Africa, there are no public events where a coach can go to learn more about esports.
That is very true, yeah.
It just doesn't exist. There's maybe one university course for 6 weeks that you can do, but that's just about gaming.
Yeah, it's not
holistic.
Necessarily
it's
like
not all
a skills training.
No, it's not. And then there's a lot of international things you can do, but it costs dollars. I mean, who can afford that?
And when you think about it, it's more so like you want to be more accessible for people locally.
Yes, exactly. So then in last year, 2024, we doubled our number. We just had just under 100 coaches. We opened it up to external schools. We had a couple of external schools, maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah.
This year, we're standing at 176 people at the Indaba. So
okay.
We went from 50, 100, 176. It is absolutely exploding. And I can see we've got noobs here, because we divide our tracks, noob, intermediate and pro. I mean, keeping the gaming terminology.
I love that.
Has to be here. So when you have a noob track, it's for those coaches who are being told, oh, you're teaching esports, by the way. And then they will sit like, what? Is it game?
It's the game thing.
It's like the computer thing, right? Okay. And then we have our intermediate track for coaches who have a bit of experience. They've taught some information, you know, they might have coached 1 or 2 times. Then it might be their second year. But then we have the pro section as well, because we have coaches who've been doing this for years, like Donnie from Somerset West, or even JH from Paul Roos. We've got Candice from Curro Brackenfell. I mean, we've got coaches who've been doing it. They've been champions at AGC and at our Curro lands. We need to provide for them as well. So we need to strike that balance of there will be something for everyone, and we will definitely be doing this every single year, without a doubt.
I love to hear that. So going into my last question, so you already mentioned we're going to be seeing the Curro in Indaba for the foreseeable future, but also with regards to maybe LAN events, what can schools be expecting? I mean, for anyone watching right now, what do you have to say to them if they're not involved already, whether it's within the Curro eSports lands or even just the Curro in Indaba itself?
So we are doing our Indabas at the beginning of every year. So next year at the beginning of the Indaba, you need to make sure that you do get, at the end of this year, your invitations on, check out social media, all of it will be there. The reason why we do it at the beginning of the year is so that you do get some experience and just background knowledge before all of the major league starts, with the major event starts. Gauteng LAN happens in March, 3 weeks from now. At Curro Waterfall.
Okay, so we're already there.
We're already there.
Okay.
The invites have been sent out. If you want to join and you haven't got the invite yet, let me know, or reach out to ASL. They've got all the information on the website as well.
I will pop all of that information, don't worry. I got you guys plugged on.
So we're starting on the 28-29 March. We've got the Gauteng LAN at Curro Waterfall. Then in June we have the Western Cape LAN, and in October we have our national LAN again, where last year we had just under 400 learners compete on what was online and in person in 2 events, but we're changing it up a bit this year.
I think, first of all, wait, it's crazy to think about this because, like, I think we were actually having this conversation probably last year, the first time I interviewed you, and you were like, I think I'm probably aiming for about 300 learners for the LAN, and I mean 400.
Yeah, just under 400. We almost made 400. We had some schools pull out at the last minute.
But I mean, it's insane to think about, though. I mean, especially from where Curro has started to where we are now, you have to think that, I mean, there's a really good future ahead.
We're building every year. We're building and building and building, and of course it's the Curro, the Curro brand, the Curro image of our program, and we really want to drive excellence in our schools when it comes to esports and of course everything else. But we can't stand on an island. It's also about building the community as a whole. And we invite any school to join our LANs, any school to join our indabas, because it is about creating this community that's struggling to thrive a little bit and trying to, well, it's not struggling anymore though. With ASL and Curro, we are really moving forward, which is amazing, but giving kids the opportunity to play in person. We have so many traditional esports events, rugby, Wilde Klaver, the SuperSport athletics. We've got the Curro podium, which is absolutely doing amazingly well. We also want to do that for our esports and give that learner who they never in any other event in person, only online. They need a space where they can come in person, see the people they're working with, sit with their team in a row and chat and get motivated. I can talk forever. You need to stop me.
Yeah, no, I mean, actually, it reminds me of something that was actually said last week, because we were down at Thomas More College in Durban last week. And what Altruism mentioned is the same thing that you're also reiterating right now, is that giving an opportunity to students who may not have had the physical prowess to be the fastest runner in the school, the most physical, the most talented rugby player or football player, but now a space where they can do it, in person, esports on a stage. And I mean, you guys have been providing that, right? So is that something that you just constantly want to continue providing?
Yes, definitely, because I have to tell this story, so if you can, 2 minutes, I have to.
Go for it.
Our very first Western Cape LAN, we had a little child at that event, and I spoke about him last time, I think, where when his team lost, he threw a complete tantrum and had a massive meltdown because he accused them of cheating and spamming and a lot of things. 3 months later, that same child was sitting at a table with the team member from the other team he accused of cheating the previous time. In the 3 months between the two LANs, they'd become friends and they'd started sharing knowledge. This other school's child started teaching this young boy how to play a better strategy. Last year, Western Cape LAN, they were sitting together. He even ended up playing for their team because they needed an extra player, and his team didn't enter in a title for that. National LAN last year, he was the manager, is a primary school child, of the 3 younger teams the school entered. In a year and a half's time, he went from a child who couldn't manage his emotions in a public space to a child who is the manager of 3 esports teams, making sure they're there on time, they're playing together, they're communicating. If that's not evidence that esports is the way to go, I can't tell you anything else.
I don't even want to say anything else. Like, there's nothing more I can add to that. But Max, it's always an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me. But before I let you go, please, can you let the camera know, let the people know, where can we find Curro Esports? How can people get involved, or anything that is of relevant notice?
Well, you can always find us on the Curro website or any of our Curro Esports social media, Instagram or Facebook. Contact details are on there, or you can send me an email at magdalene.d@curro.co.za, or even just give me a call. If you can't find me, I'm not going to give my phone number here, but it's on my email signature. So if you've ever gotten an email from me, you are welcome to give me a call, and we're always willing to share our knowledge and get you at our events, get involved, even in our online leagues. All our online leagues are also open to any school to enter. So looking forward to some emails in my inbox, I think.
Guys, please don't be shy. You can see how
Yeah,
bubbly she is.
come on.
Like, she doesn't bite. She's actually very nice. Trust me. But again, Max, thank you so much for joining me on the show.
Thank you, Scar. I appreciate it.
But guys, that's going to be the end of the show. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Once again, stay tuned for next week where I have yet another special guest interview. But from me, I've been Scar. This has been Gameplay, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. GG's, gamers.